Captain Leora Venn had sworn, in the solemn manner of her people, that she would never marry. Not for duty, not for lineage, not even for the political alliances expected of someone born into the high castes of Stratos 9. She had said the vow at 13 cycles old, standing beneath the crystalline towers of her world as they chimed with the wind. Marriage was for those who wanted constraint. Leora wanted the stars. Nothing more, nothing less. By adulthood she had earned them. A sleek Starpath cruiser, command of the diplomatic exploration vessel Eidolon, and the quiet respect of nearly every species in the Helion corridor. She negotiated peace with the flame-skinned Ravax, charted 2 unmarked nebulae, and solved the trade dispute of the Bryn syndicates without firing a single pulse round. The galaxy called her brilliant, fearless, incorruptible. But even brilliance comes with shadows. 4 years, an old prophecy hung around her neck like a tightening chain. Her grandmother, some claimed a seer, others simply strange, had once said, "You will break your vow when you see the one species you fear most. And you will whisper, 'So this is love.'" Leora had laughed then. Fear a species. Impossible. Whisper about love. Absurd. That was before she met a human. The message came unexpectedly while the Eidolon hovered in orbit around the moon of Serathel. A diplomatic request. Cross-species summit. The humans wished to negotiate a new exploration pact. Humans. The unpredictable newcomers of the Outer Arm, known for their stubbornness, their emotional volatility, and their reckless bravery. Leora had never met one in person. She only knew the stories. Humans loved fiercely, fought fiercely, lived fiercely. They were a storm wrapped in skin. She didn't fear them. She simply had no desire to tangle her life with theirs. Too chaotic. Too raw. Still, duty required she attend. When the summit ship docked with the Eidolon, Leora stood ready in the crystalline reception hall. Her posture perfect, her face expressionless. She expected a delegation. Instead, the doors slid open and only one human stepped through. He was tall, taller than she expected, with dark hair tied loosely at the neck and eyes the deep warm brown of soil after rain. He paused, taking in the chamber of pale blue glass, the floating sigils, the shimmering air. Then he smiled. Something in Leora's chest tightened like a snapped filament. "Commander Elias Hart," he said, offering the traditional cross-species greeting. "And you must be Captain Leora Venn." She inclined her head. "I was informed the humans were sending a full delegation." "They were," Elias replied, a faint smirk tugging at his mouth, "until I informed them their policy drafts were terrible. They decided it would be best if I came alone." Against her better judgment, a sense of amusement flickered in her mind. That is, unusually honest. Humans often are. She wasn't sure if it was confidence or simplicity, or both, that unsettled her. The negotiations were meant to take 2 days. They lasted 12. 12 long days in which Leora discovered precisely why she avoided humanity. They were chaotic. Elias argued passionately, paced while he talked, ran his hands through his hair when frustrated, laughed loudly at his own mistakes, and somehow managed to make every reckless suggestion sound as though it held the seed of brilliance. He challenged her with questions no diplomat from the Helion corridor had ever dared ask. Why do your people treat emotion like a weakness? Why fear uncertainty when it's the birthplace of discovery? Why swear never to marry? What terrible thing did love ever do to you? She should have dismissed him. Should have kept their interactions strictly professional. But Leora found herself waiting for each session, each argument, each unexpected conversation. His presence was like gravity, quiet, steady, pulling her without permission. Still she held firm. She did not believe in destiny or emotion or romantic foolishness. Until the attack. On the morning of the final summit, alarms screamed through the Eidolon. The vessel shook as debris struck its hull. Leora rushed to the bridge, Elias right behind her, both ignoring protocol in the urgency of the moment. A rogue cruiser appeared on the screens. Pirates, scavengers, one of the lawless groups that haunted the fringes of the corridor. "They're targeting the summit ship," her first officer shouted. "If they destroy it, the treaty collapses. Humans will think we set them up." "No one destroys my ship," Elias muttered. Before she could stop him, he sprinted down the corridor toward the airlock. Leora cursed, then followed. "What are you doing?" she demanded. "Humans solve problems," he said, gripping a pulse rifle. "Even the stupid ones. That is not reassuring." He flashed her a grin. "It's not meant to be." Together they launched in a small shuttle, weaving between bursts of plasma fire. Leora's hands flew over controls while Elias handled targeting. They moved in seamless synchronization, as though they had flown together for years. And for the first time in her life, Leora felt something alien, something wild, something dangerously powerful. She trusted him. Completely. When they reached the pirate vessel, they disabled its engines with a precise ion blast. But as the ship drifted, it fired one last desperate shot, a flaming arc that streaked toward their shuttle. Elias reacted faster than she did. He grabbed her arm, yanked her down as the explosion tore through the shuttle's side. The cabin flooded with smoke. The control panel sparked violently. "We're losing stabilizers," Leora coughed. "We have to land now." "On the pirate ship?" Elias asked. "It's either that or disintegrate. Then we disembark like champions." Despite everything, she found herself laughing. They crash-landed on the pirate vessel, breaching its hull. The two clawed their way through the smoke, pulse weapons ready. Pirates surrounded them, snarling, armed and vicious. A dozen against two. Yet Elias stepped forward, shield raised, heart steady. And in that moment, amid chaos, danger, firelight, Leora saw not recklessness but devotion. Courage that was neither performative nor prideful. A willingness to stand between danger and another life. Her breath halted. Her grandmother's prophecy echoed. "You will break your vow when you see the one species you fear most, and you will whisper, 'So this is love.'" The realization struck her harder than the crash. She wasn't afraid of humans. She was afraid of what they made her feel. Elias glanced back at her, eyes bright with intensity. "Ready," she swallowed. "Ready." Together they fought side by side, moving as though guided by the same instinct. They disabled the pirates, secured the vessel, and signaled the Eidolon. But Leora's pulse never settled. Not from battle. From him. When the dust finally cleared and reinforcements arrived, Elias turned to her. "You okay?" he asked softly. Leora stared at him, at his soot-smudged face, at the quiet concern in his eyes. And before she could stop herself, before she could restrain the truth, she whispered, "So, this is love." Elias froze. The galaxy seemed to hold its breath. Then he stepped closer. "If it is, then I'm honored." Her vow shattered like stardust in wind. Months later, after the Human-Helian Treaty was ratified, after peace settled upon the corridor, a private ceremony was held aboard the Eidolon. Only a few witnesses. No politics. No pressure. Leora stood beneath the same crystal chimes that once heard her vow never to marry. But this time, she did not speak of solitude. She spoke of partnership, trust, and something she once believed impossible. Elias offered his hand. She took it gladly. And as the stars drifted past the viewing deck, she realized something with quiet certainty. Love had not stolen the skies from her. It had given her someone to share them with.